Hello and welcome back to TB3 Sports Talk. This is episode 98. We're here. We're talking mostly Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they had an absolutely gut check performance on Monday Night Football. And let me tell you what, those guts are built high. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm just excited. The Bucs won Monday night 20-19. Just tough, gritty win. And two in a row for the Bucs to start the season. Boys, how are we feeling about the Buckarooskies?
Houston, we have a W finally. It seems like it's been forever since the Bucs have gotten a win in Houston, and that's actually because they've never won in Houston, even back to the Houston Oilers. So for those of you watching and those of you following the Bucs, you witness history. The Bucs' first win in Houston against a very, very good Texans defense. I can't say enough about the game, and we're gonna get into it and dive deep because there's a lot of things we have to say. But I think the number one thing for me is Baker Mayfield, MVP, warrior. It doesn't matter what happens in the game. This man's unfazed, and if you give him any sort of shot, we said it last week, and we're saying it again. This guy's gonna come up clutch. This guy's gonna give you his all. It doesn't matter. Baker's the GOAT. There, I said it.
I think the season goes up from here. We've been saying it for years now. Bucks can't win in primetime. Bucks don't shine under the lights, but this week they did it. And now for the rest of the primetime games going into this season, it's money. We got this. Like monkeys off our back. We're ready to go. We got like 3 or 4 more, maybe more. I think a couple of games are going to get flexed.
Wow.
So I mean, we're and this is one of Baker's first primetime wins as well. So many monkeys have been lifted. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, primetime monkey lifted off the Buccaneers' back is a great way to put it. The primetime problem has been something that's going on for years. It felt like we got a nice little blip from it during the Tom Brady era. We had a lot of primetime games and won a lot of those primetime games. But since Baker Mayfield took over, he had lost every single one of his regular season primetime game starts. This is his first win in a regular season primetime game as the Buccaneers starting quarterback. The Bucs were 0-5 last year in primetime games. I don't think I'm sure a lot of you guys remember, but I mean, you think about overtime loss against the Falcons, overtime loss against the Chiefs, losing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin against the Ravens, Dallas.
That one
was
devastating.
And I was at the game. It was brutal, man. And then you think about Dallas Cowboys. Rashad White fumble as he's going down. Then you got the Washington game. Those were the primetime games last year, and they left a mark. Like those games stung. They were heartbreaking. And for the Bucs to come out here and on a Monday Night Football game where not everything went right. Actually, a lot of things went wrong. You had injuries. You had unfortunate plays. You had missed egregious block in the backs that for some reason we're not calling. Like, you had all these things going against you. And, man, these Bucs are clutch. These are clutch Buccaneers, and it is refreshing to see. And I think that toughness and that grittiness kind of comes down from their coach, man. I think Todd Bowles has done a great job. He spoke in the post-game press conference after, saying, we focus on a culture, and culture is what helps you win close games on the road. It's just been very, very impressive, and maybe not the best game, maybe not the Bucs' cleanest game for the second week in a row, but man, that was a daunting 2-game road trip to start the season. You didn't have probably your best overall pound-for-pound player in Tristan Wirfs for the entire time. You didn't have Chris Godwin. You lose Luke Gedeke. You lose Kalijah Kancey, and man, you get 2 huge wins. That you can't say enough about it.
Yeah, I think anybody who's been a doubter of Todd Bowles has really got to change their tune here, because we've seen this team get better. We've seen this team, and maybe some stuff has taken some time for Todd Bowles to work on and get better at. But I mean, this year you look at all across the board. I think coaching has been phenomenal. I think this is 2 weeks now where the Bucs have had the better coaches. They've outsmarted the other team. They've made some big IQ plays. Clock management has been well. And yeah, I think, you look at Todd Bowles too, like you were talking about, just kind of, how the team rallies around him. He's unfazed through everything too. And he's all business. And I think, especially today in the press conferences, I mean, he's all business. He's locked in. There's a lot of stuff going on. People are hyped up about the 2-0 and the creamsicles and the home opener. He's just ready to win. And, Yeah, I think you can't say enough about Todd Bowles.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of coaching decisions, I think we should talk about, did the Bucks let the Texans score late in the game? I will say this up front. I thought that point saying that was nonsensical. I thought that there was no way the Bucks let them score. But then you listen to some of the post game and the interviews throughout this week. You listen to Antoine Winfield, and he gets asked straight up, "Hey, did you let him score?" And he dodges the question. He doesn't answer the question. Then Todd Bowles gets asked the same question. He says, "It doesn't matter. We won." So that kind of gets me a little suspicious.
Yeah, I think Todd Bowles played it off pretty well. Just kind of his demeanor overall and just how he answered it. He's just kind of like, we won the game. It doesn't matter. But Antoine,
He did not.
He gave it away. They clearly, at least, I don't know what kind of decision it was. If it was the players or if it was Bowles, if they were saying something before or during the snap, if they saw something, but. There was at least something going on. I think Antoine Winfield gave it away. And you could tell, too, by watching the film, like some of the angles they were taking and some of the guys up front. I mean, they're not trying to break off the blocks or anything. The more you look at it, the more, makes a whole lot of sense that they did let him score.
I mean, I'm always the biggest advocate for stuff like that, but I just don't see how like an NFL coach could do that. So I don't know. Like, I'm sure they're playing it off now, and like they're all tongue in cheek in the now afterwards. Once hindsight's 2020, it all worked out. But I just don't see how they could.
Yeah,
they have that new coach though. Remember the time management coach? I think his name's like Zach Beesline or something like that. So like maybe he came in and was like, hey, like this secretly works.
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense because you could just see how it would have played out regardless. I mean, barring a magical turnover, you're most definitely. They would have had to use all their timeouts. So they wouldn't have any for the second drive. One first down in that game is over because they can just bleed the clock and kick a field goal. It makes a whole lot of sense to do that, and I think it was genius because, again, Texans fell for it. You had all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. And you think with all that still, the Bucs scored with 6 seconds left.
Yep.
That wouldn't have happened if they tried to play to stop a field goal or get a stop. You don't know. I don't think that would have honestly happened. I don't think they would have come back.
I love the play. Like, I'd love to see that more. Like, we have an offense that's clutch enough this year. And even with Brady, I think, actually, like, Jameis Winston was pretty clutch. So I'd say the last 10 years plus, we've had a clutch offense, and that's the team you'd want to do plays like this on. So I'm glad we're finally, like, admitting to it, essentially.
I'm in the minority. I hate it, to be honest with you. I know it worked out, and I know and Baker Mayfield is very clutch, and he did a great job of putting the Bucs in the position to, win the game. Phenomenal drive, phenomenal. But again, you guys got to think. I mean, if Baker Mayfield, zigs instead of zags on a 4th and 10 scramble, like that game's over. And again, it would have been over if there was a field goal or not. But for me, allowing them to score a touchdown, making you have to score a touchdown, as opposed to trying to hold them to 3, where you could win it with a field goal. And I know Chase McLaughlin has not been steady.
That's the thing too. Yeah, you can't really trust him.
But again, he's still an NFL kicker. I still would trust the Bucs to get in a position. And if you lose because of kicking, it is what it is. But me personally, something's fishy about the play. I don't know if the Bucs had the intent at the beginning of the play to let him score, like the defensive line. I haven't watched the play that closely, up front with the angles they took. But there's no denying Antoine Winfield did pull up. And I will say, pulling up and not trying to shoestring tackle someone at the 1-yard line, that makes a lot of sense. Like that, I can completely agree, because it's like if they're on the 1-yard line and they're trying to bleed the clock and all they need to get is 1 yard with the time, and they have to bleed the timeouts and get the touchdown, then that's one thing. But I think when the Texans, I think, were on the 26-yard line, trying to stop them there and force a 3 and out, which you did plenty. I mean, the defense was phenomenal, and then try to kick it for 3 and just win it with a field goal, I think makes more sense. And I don't know the full answer. I think we'll never know the full answer. But if they, from the start of the play, were planning on letting him score, I have to personally disagree with that, even though it worked out for the Bucs.
Yeah, but you got to think it speaks a lot about this offense that even with all the injuries and stuff like that if that was the case, if that was planned, I mean, they trust them enough. They still trusted them enough to go out there and secure a win.
It says a lot about Josh Grizzard and the trust they have in him, which I think he's done a lot of really good things to start this year.
Yeah, we can go into it.
Into the offense, I love it. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we'll do injuries later. Yeah, Bucks offense was really really good. The Bucks come out really good in some aspects for sure. This is a very very tough Houston Texans defense. You might really not see a better defensive line this season than the Houston Texans. I mean, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter off the edges were just really really good. But the
Good
Bucks,
linebacker play.
yeah, good linebacker play, the good corners, Lassiter, Stingley. That's a very very good defense. That's the strength of their team. We mentioned that last week. Very very good. And the Bucks, they went out and they scored on their opening 2 possessions. Touchdown passes from Baker Mayfield to Ryan Miller, and then Emeka Ibuka, and then they went scoreless. They went dormant for a lot of the game. A missed field goal, mixed in there, but they came up when it mattered. I'll give it to you guys. What stood out from the Buccaneers offense? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost was the running game. Despite all the injuries, you have Gedeke going out super early. Then you have to shuffle them around. And despite that, I mean, the running game was super successful, and it was a perfect 1-2 punch from Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. You look at the stats here. Bucky, 17 carries for 71 yards. Rachaad White, 10 carries for 65 yards, average of 6.5.
Yeah.
Rachaad with the touchdown, and they're both really good in the pass game. And I think that was the biggest thing is, despite the injuries, how well they're able to do it. I think shout out to Grizzard, especially for kind of finding that in the second half and really relying on that run game, especially when, in the passing game, when Gedeke went out and they shuffled everybody up. I mean, they started teeing off on the Bucks, especially on passing downs. Baker had to scramble. Of course, we saw that a lot that night, and just getting pressured and guys in his face getting sacked. And so I think that's something that I really like to see from Grizzard is, the adjustments to what you have personnel-wise.
Yeah, I agree. The rushing attack was absolutely phenomenal. I think got to give a lot of credit to the running back duo and tandem of Rachaad White and Bucky Irving. I think they really, really have learned and have shown that they just complement each other very, very nicely. The running styles are so different, but yet so effective for each of them. And I think we saw in that game that Bucky Irving, he was really really good. 71 yards. He got north and south. But I think the more effective running style was the patient, crease finding style.
He found some holes,
of Rachaad White, and I think kind of that patience, this was something that actually my brother told me during the game, but he was kind of mentioning how the Texans were pursuing and flying to the ball so fast that it was almost the slower, more patient run, and the misdirection was almost kind of like a change up for their defense, and that's why Rachaad White was able to find so many creases. And I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think you saw that the different styles, we don't have to say oh, I only want to see Bucky Irving because he gets north and south and he works for against this defense, or I only want to see Rachaad White because he's a good receiver and he's patient and he'll find the hole and stuff like that, and he'll get the extra yards. And it's like the difference, the contrast is beautiful. It's great, and it's something that you got to give them a lot of credit for. I thought both those guys were phenomenal. I thought the offensive line was phenomenal. There was holes. The interior, got to give a lot of credit to Ben Braderson, Cody Mauch, Michael Jordan. Those guys were really, really, really good. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. Those guys were really, really good. And the tackles struggled, but the interior was really impressed with in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is me preaching to you, the fan, again. Number one, I'm a big Todd Bowles believer. Number two, I don't like the running back culture and the fans in Tampa Bay. I feel like fans are so quick to turn on Ronald Jones. Fans are so quick to turn on Leonard Fournette, and then last year, and especially the fumble in Dallas kind of amplified it. But the hate on Rachaad White, and you look at a game last night, and it's like, aren't you glad he's on our team? Aren't you glad he's still with us?
And he's the guy who went all over that fumble, right?
Yeah, he's the one who saved
great call.
Exactly, Joel. One of the biggest plays of the game was him diving on that ball, taking a shot too.
Yeah, sacrificed his body for that play.
He was all over the place on that.
But yeah, and we love Bucky. Everybody loves Bucky. Well, you don't want to run Bucky 100 times a game, and it's so good to have somebody like Rachaad White. And I think some things that really stick out to me is he's so good in the pass game, and he's an incredible blocker as well. So I can't say enough about him. I'm tired of the hate on Bulls, and I'm really tired of the hate on Rashad White. And I think last night kind of proved both. You know, pipe down, guys. Come on.
Pipe down if you're a hater. The Buccaneers, they have now ran for 100-plus yards in 10 consecutive games. That is the longest streak in the NFL. 10 straight games with 100 yards or more. That is absolutely insane. Think about the Byron Leftwich days, the Dave Canales' days, and now we have a formidable rushing attack, and it's just very, very impressive. And then you look at the flip side, the Buccaneers have allowed less than 100 yards in 11 straight games. So they've been dominating on the ground. And again, I know it's a league of quarterbacks. I know passing is, flashy, but if you're going to win the rushing attack, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. If you can control the line of scrimmage, you're going to win a lot of games in this league. I was really, really impressed with that running game. I know there were some ups and downs in the passing game and the pass protection, but the running game was phenomenal.
And, just another shout out to Grizzard and, just going with stuff that works, finding stuff that works. And I think keying into that run game and, sticking with it. I think the screen game too, the screen game was pretty effective and sticking with it. And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, And I think that's a lot of the things we were talking about with Liam Cohen last year. Is sometimes stuff would work really well in a game, and then they wouldn't go back to it. And it'd be like, come on, tap into some of this stuff, Cohen. But Grizzard, what I really appreciate about him in these two games is going with the stuff that works and forcing other teams to come up with a stop, and just doing it until they can.
Yeah, and then on the receiving end, the pass catching end, obviously Baker Mayfield, clutch again, 25 for 38, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another solid game from him. This time, last week we kind of mentioned his accuracy, his just overall passing was not as good. This time, the shortcomings were really just him not having the time. Baker Mayfield, again, man, you can't say enough about his toughness and his willingness to win. I mean, huge 15-yard scramble on 4th and 10 on the final drive, just making a person miss. I mean, you just see the grittiness all over the field. You hurt your ankle, then you remember you have to talk some smack to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like that's just the stuff you love. And when it's just it was his will to win and his leadership is just so impressive, and it's that travels no matter if he's feeling his passing, if he's accurate, if he's on fire, whatever. That leadership and that willingness and will to win travels. So Baker was impressive. I think that Mike Evans, 5 catches, 56 yards. The wealth was spread. Bucky actually had a really good receiving game too. I think 6 catches,
50 yards.
Yeah. So so 70 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving for Bucky. A huge 22-yard reception on the final drive for Bucky, making a man miss. Skirt. Emeka Ibuka gets his 3rd touchdown reception of the season. He's now tied for the league lead in the NFL with touchdown receptions. Just really, really good stuff against a tough defense. You made the plays when it mattered. I think before we get into the injuries, maybe let's flip over to the defense. We'll look ahead. So defensively, for the second week in a row, you looked like Swiss cheese on the opening drive. And that's kind of part of football. If you guys don't know, the opening drive is what they call a scripted drive. They script. Not that the NFL scripted, but meaning the offensive coordinator has about 10 to 12 plays that they know they're going to run in the first 10 to 12 games or 10 to 12 plays of the game. Those plays usually, you've practiced, you have the execution down, you're basing something off film. So the offense usually has somewhat of an advantage on that scripted opening drive. The opponents, the Falcons and the Texans they've gone down and they've scored in the opening drive. But then after that, man, the Buccaneers don't allow a touchdown until the 4th quarter, and that was on a short field. Man, what stood out to you about the Buccaneers defense, guys?
Yeah, I think it was, exactly that. You get gashed a little bit to start the game. You give up 10 points. But then after that, you're completely locked down. You look at the 4th down stop on the goal line. And really, if it wasn't for your special teams imploding, I don't think the Texans score again in that game. Yeah. I don't think they score more than 10 points. And again, you could always say, well, one of those touchdowns they might have allowed anyway. So you just don't know that would have been even less than 19 points. So, again, I think, it's bending but don't break. Stuff can happen at the start of the game, but all that matters is how you finish. And the Bucs defense certainly finished. They were locked down. I know, you can't really control what special teams does, but you can control how you do on defense. And I think the Bucs did a pretty decent job on both sides. I think they made C.J. Stroud look confused at times, made him look very uncomfortable. So overall, pretty good. There is one glaring spot to me, but I don't know. Maybe we're reading each other's mind. You kind of started laughing there.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna keep on the good because you mentioned the scheme and the job by the Buccaneers defense. I mean, last week there was a quote from Bijan Robinson saying that the Bucs were throwing things they've never seen before in practice and tape, and they were just absolutely confused and bewildered by Todd Bowles' defense. So got to give him a lot of credit.
Come on, man!
Phenomenal job.
And I'll say Levante David was really close to catching that interception. So
bro.
I mean, I don't know how many interceptions we've really had this season so far. I know we didn't have any in this game, but
we don't have any.
We've
dropped every single one we could have got.
I didn't think we had any interceptions. I was willing to give the guys a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, preseason we're talking about interceptions coming. Hopefully we'll be getting some. So in fact, he got it in his hands. Like it's like, all right, next week we're gonna get that one. All right.
I mean, those practice squad guys got to be ragging on the main. I
mean,
team
probably
dudes, like Roman Perode and Kendall Vildor, like those guys would be like, man, we were catching these in the preseason, man. What were y'all doing?
It's like the pups need to teach the old dogs a few tricks.
Just how to catch the ball. I mean, the defense is good. I mean, if they could catch the ball, we'd have a few extra possessions.
I mean, it's nice talking about that from a winning standpoint, though. It's like if we lost the game, we'd be like, Levante David, you're 30,000 years old. Get yourself a ball.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Whole defense got hit the jugs.
They seriously do. It's kind of insane. Like it's like guys, come on. I know we can make the joke like, oh, that's why they play defense, but like it's ridiculous.
Hey, I said it last week, and Joel kind of brought up. They're in the right spot.
They're
there.
there.
McCollum was there. Vontae Davis there. They're in the right spot. You just gotta complete the play.
Yeah. I think a couple guys stood out to me in the secondary. I think the Bucs secondary has just been absolutely phenomenal to start off the season. I mean, what did C.J. Stroud? 13 completions in this game. He only completed 13 passes. I mean, that is an impressive job by the secondary. And first person that sticks out to me is Tyke Smith, man. What a game for him. 6 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss. It's his first career sack in the NFL. I mean, he was just phenomenal. Then another guy I'll throw out to you is Jacob Parrish. Again, just so good. Got a pass breakup. If C.J. Stroud wouldn't have thrown the ball so high, he would have got an interception. And he has the highest PFF grade of a player who played a lot of snaps with a 76.6. I know Elijah Roberts had a higher one, but he only played 13 snaps in the game. Both those guys, those secondary guys, that were really, really good. And I mean, you look at the Texans and their weapons. I mean, Nico Collins, is looked to be one of the better receivers in the NFL, and he had 3 catches for 52 yards. And I think 2 of those catches were on the first drive.
Yeah, I mean, he had that big first drive, and then after that, they shut him down for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, very, very good job by the Bucs secondary. I've been very, very impressed with those guys. Anyone else on defense stuck out to you guys?
Vita Vea was a little bit more involved in the game, right? Like I think the week 1 we didn't really hear his name, but I think this week I heard his name maybe once or twice.
Big stop on the goal line for Vita Vea on that 4th down. That was a really really good job on the goal line to get that 4th down, turnover on downs, and then that really speaks to the Buccaneers rushing defense. Like I said, haven't allowed a 100+ yard game rushing in 11 games, and the Texans got to that 1 yard line. They had 3 plays from the 1 yard line. They tried to run once, and they decided to pass it 2 times in a row because you can't move this Buccaneers defensive line. Who stood out to me was, Unc still got it. Greg Gaines, man.
I was just about to say Greg Gaines. He got a sack. He was hyped up. Shout out Elijah Roberts. He was also in on a sack, too.
First career sack for Elijah Roberts. We're going to have to see a little bit more of him coming up because, a little bit of injuries in the defensive line. Antoine Winfield, another really good game. Pretty highly graded, 72.9 on PFF. And then I guess the black hole of the defense, does he wear number 8?
He does wear number 8. How did you know?
Well, I saw him playing.
He's been really disappointing. And we talked about it last week. I said, we kind of were sold on this in his limited time that he was, we saw so much of KJ Britt and JJ Russell and these guys struggling to stop the pass. And we were kind of told, once he gets healthy, if he can just stay healthy, he's going to solidify that. and it was bad last week, and it was even worse this week.
Which is crazy because he had a pass coverage grade PFF in the 70s last year. His pass coverage grade on
But
Monday
he
night.
played, what, 2 games?
He played 3. I mean, it's
Three?
only been 2. It's only been 2 games now.
I guess
26.2 pass coverage grade on Monday. That is terrible. That is a stark difference.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is, per PFF, he's allowed 228 yards in coverage through 2 games.
Yeesh.
And the rest of the Bucs defense combined, 277.
That's wild. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and
He's
I
got to
think-
tighten it up, or it's going to be Deion Jones time.
Yeah, and I don't know what the problem is. Maybe, I mean, you could chalk it up to maybe just a little bit of inexperience. He's just got to get more games under his belt. I mean, I'm watching, the film breakdown, and he's clear. I mean, a lot of stuff he's looking lost. You even see like Levante David is trying to shuffle him over and pointing at him. A lot of plays he comes up, shrugging, throwing his hands up like he doesn't really know what's going on. So I'm holding out hope that it's that, because that would be really disappointing if that's another linebacker we can't rely on. We can't have somebody to replace Levante and help him out. Maybe it's John Bullock time.
Maybe he was a good pass coverage player in college. I think anything else on the defense before you get to the injuries?
Yeah, now
I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
Just that's really that. But again, overall defense played great.
Yeah, really, really. I've been impressed. I mean, the defense has been better than the offense through 2 weeks. I mean, just this unit, the scheme, the boost in the secondary, like we saw Benjamin Morrison get out there, got called for just soft penalty in that game.
Yeah, he got his feet wet.
Yeah.
Feet wet.
Well, I guess before we do injuries, we should talk special teams because that was pretty
Yeah.
atrocious. But I was gonna say one thing. I have a fun fact. So
Sure.
in 2023, the Bucs played the Houston Texans, and when the Bucs played the Houston Texans, Dalton Schultz, or maybe it wasn't Dalton. So one white tight end on the Houston Texans caught a touchdown pass with 6 seconds left.
I think it was Schultz.
I think it was Schultz, but I think it might have been a random. Not the point here. 6 seconds left. The Texans beat the Bucs 39-37. Flash forward to Monday night. Rachaad White runs the ball in with how much time left?
6 seconds.
6 seconds left. So it's poetic. Like Will mentioned, the first time they beat any team in Houston ever. It's the first time they beat the Texans since 2003. So impressive win. Impressive to get that primetime monkey. Impressive 2-0 in one-score games to start this season. They were 2-6 in one-score games last season.
Yeah, well, they are the only team since this team only since the 1979 Cleveland Browns to start a season 2-0. Well, in the game, they were trailing with 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. The only team other than the 1979 Cleveland Browns.
It's crazy, man.
Couldn't even tell you anybody from that team.
Was Joe Flacco still playing back then? Not funny. Joe Flacco from the
Something about Joe Flacco that I trust.
But I think special teams, and I think to talk about special teams, you got to start with the kicker. Chase McLaughlin missed a field goal. What was it, like a
38 yards.
38 yards.
And again, like you always say, like we never get him off the uprights to go in. It's like, why are we so unlucky with that?
Yeah, he's hit 2 off the uprights.
It's like, come on, one of those has to go in.
Just hit it on the inside. Get a little kiss in there, but it's got to be like just square on. But yeah, he's now 1 for 3 on field goals in the season. He has a missed extra point. Definitely a struggle for Chase McLaughlin. And my question is, guys, how much longer are we going to be willing to wait out for Chase McLaughlin?
I mean, I'm ready to at least bring in somebody. I think that's one way to really get a kicker going is just bring in somebody for practice, bring in somebody to compete with them. But, I mean, it's just the thing is it's just clutch moments. It's clutch moments where he's missing field goals, and that's the thing that annoys me the most. What a huge miss last week to give the Falcons a chance. And then this week, Bucks go up, early 14-10, and their offense starts to struggle. We needed those points desperately in a big moment, and you couldn't produce. You couldn't do it for us. And I think at some point, you got to have somebody's got ice in his veins.
I think that he's right now is probably his worst critic, so I don't know if bringing somebody is going to help. Like that probably was make him get in his head even more. I just wonder if there's something like different with the balls this year or something, or if he kind of needs to reconsider what the inflation is on it or whatever. Like there's something different.
Well, with bringing somebody in, if he can't do the job, you bring somebody in who can do the job. So if it's a confidence thing, then get him out of there. If he can't handle it.
I think if he has like 2 more crappy games, then you just say, all right, you're straight fired.
I think 2 more games is a fair. It's only been 2 games. I think he can have a couple.
Oh, yeah,
if
he sucks the first quarter of the season, he's out. Like I don't even need the competition.
You at least bring in somebody. You have to.
I think you give him a couple more weeks just out of the respect of what he's been the last 2 years, because he's missed 2 field goals this year. He missed 2 last year and he missed 2 the year before. Like he's been really, really good. Yeah, he's been really, really good, and it's just unfortunate. But yeah, it's just you don't realize how backbreaking a missed field goal is until it actually happens.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, like we needed those points. I would have put the Bucks up 7. It was just a backbreaking. It was a momentum deflator. You've driven all the way down there. It's been a tough game, a good defense. You need points, and you have to convert on those. The extra point last week was crippling. Like they are very lucky Koo missed that field goal. So it's just definitely need to be willing to change and don't stick it out, because I mean we saw the 49ers with Jake Moody, cut him after 1 game. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's a cutthroat league, and you're getting paid millions of bucks to do this stuff. I really, I could care less about his confidence. Get somebody who can do the job. You have to. This is the NFL.
Yeah, the only flip side of that is if you can hold out and get to this rough stretch and get the Chase McLaughlin you've had the last 2 years, he's going to be better than anyone you can bring in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the route.
I imagine that's where they're at right
yeah,
now.
I think that's probably their hesitancy to bring someone in. But
Rodrigo
if they're good,
Blankenship.
that's what I was gonna say.
Rod the Collector.
Hot Rod, baby, Hot Rod.
Who was the Seminoles guy? Was that Roberto Aguayo?
Oh, don't bring that guy. Don't even let that guy
When
back
did
in
he
the
come
city.
on? Let bring him back. I want to see those 75-yard field goals.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest. Just like what happened.
Well, should the Bucks just be looking?
Like a what if? Like if he was who he was, we'd be
He was
winning Super Bowls with 80-yard field goals.
I mean, literally not just like bias. I mean, he was the greatest.
It was
college
disgusting.
kicker of all time. And college is even harder to kick with the hash marks being wider out, and he just comes to the Bucks. It just.
My question is, guys, do we just find a random MLS player and try to convert him like the Cowboys did Brandon Aubrey? I mean, that dude's a freak.
Finance, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe a Tampa Bay Sun. Shout out to Tampa Bay Sun.
Yeah.
Get one of the ladies in. Yeah.
We're gonna be the Vanderbilt Commodores. Wow, crazy where Vanderbilt's come from. Okay, that's tune into TB3U, baby. Yeah. So also, I do want to mention, obviously, I think that was one of the worst non-calls I've ever seen on that block in the back on the punt return. Like, and the rules analyst has the audacity to come on the show and say that wasn't a block in the back. Okay. Yeah, like
Well, this is that's a whole other thing. But yeah, the fact that you threw the flag and then you pick it up and it's just pretty obvious. But the thing I hate about the rules analysts nowadays and the rules experts,
they're just covering the ref's butt.
Yeah,
yeah.
It used to be kind of like the freak Mike Prairie. He'd give his honest opinion on what it was. But then now it's like they'll go like, yeah, I think that was a block in the back, and then the refs say no block in the back. It's like, yeah, they honestly made the right call there. I didn't actually see block in the back. I was just joking.
We didn't know what we had with Mike Pereira until we had to go to ESPN.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, he is kind of crazy. Yeah,
you ever see that video?
I have. I know what you're talking about. We're moving on, but yeah, 53-yard return for Jalen Noel to set him up, and then even on the kick returns, you got an average of 26.8 on your kick returns, and Todd Bowles was visibly frustrated after the game, saying that they had to cover better on special teams. Definitely something to mention, because I think special teams has been by far the worst aspect of the Bucks through 2 weeks.
As Sketch said, a Houston Texans fan, special teams, special plays, special players.
Wow,
you gotta lock in. You have to, you really have to work. I assume, I don't know I forgot the name of their special teams coordinator. I bet you he's pretty furious. and hopefully they'll get better. But yeah, that's been a huge thorn in their side in just 2 games already, and it really could have cost them. But again, shout out to the defense, especially for the block punt, only forcing a field goal. That was really really big. I don't think we touched on that much, but
Yeah.
one of the biggest moments in the game.
Yeah, that was well. We did touch on it because that was the moment where Levante David could have held
Yeah,
them to
he could've
0
yeah.
if he had caught that interception. But yeah, really, really good. I think we should move before we preview the next game. We should move to some unfortunate injuries.
Very.
Very unfortunate. I think the first one we can mention is Kalijah Cansey. Unfortunately, he tore his pectoral muscle. He is out for the season. That is the Bucs defensive tackle, the guy
But-
who's.
I mean, keep going, but there's been a lot of people that have recovered from that in just a season.
Yeah, I mean they're saying.
So I think it's a grade 2 or 3. They've said out for the season. So I don't expect him to be back. They didn't say out for the regular season. They didn't say out for 6 to 8 weeks. They said out for the season.
Yeah, I think before the severity of the injury, like before the MRI, they thought maybe there's a chance he could come back for like a playoff push. But yeah, that's.
I'll be interested to watch it and see if it changes because they haven't ruled him out for they didn't put him on whatever the list is that would make him out for
They
the year.
did.
They did.
Put him on the IR. Yeah,
All right.
they
was
did.
Was that what Ray Lewis had in 2012?
I don't know.
Pec?
I don't know, but definitely
He took steroids. I'm telling you.
Oh, for sure.
2000
yeah. Everyone took
2012,
everyone took
Ray
steroids in 2012.
took something to get back from whatever injury he had. I don't know if it was a Pec, but it was something where it's like, how in the world did he come back for the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's just completely irrelevant. I'm sorry, chat.
Um,
Mods ban me.
We have no mods. Anyways, but yeah. So definitely going to be interested. You saw guys like Greg Gaines and Elijah Roberts get more snaps. The Bucs signed an undrafted free agent from Tennessee today. And then they also had C.J. Brewer, who I'm assuming they will promote from their practice squad. And then. Yeah, so I don't know how is this a major impact for the Buccaneers defense? Can they recover? Should they go out and get someone? Should they trade? Should they sign a free agent? What do you guys see with this situation?
Well, with how Jason Light works, probably won't see a trade.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's the thing. He likes homegrown guys, and he's sure done a good job of doing that. I just think it sucks because just with Kalijah Cansey, it's just a long list of injuries now. You look at the last 2 years, he wasn't able to start the season. Then now this year, he's healthy all throughout training camp and the preseason, and then he's out for the year already. It's just really disappointing. And, not that it's not like, you can't control what happens. You can't control something like that. But, this is year 3 now. And you start to get, the reliability question. And just hopefully when he comes back next year, he can have a long, good career for us because it gets frustrating with some of these guys just not being able to play, not being able to stay healthy.
This injury is a little bit scarier for me than some of the other ones just because we always talk about setting the edge. And now it's like we don't have a guy like Kalijah Cansey to set the edge. So just be curious to see where it comes from, if it is equal or greater than his effectiveness on the team.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Kalijah Cansey is such a explosive player for this defense. Led the team in sacks last year. Definitely a person that we saw as one of the perfect fits next to Vita Vea. Kind of complement each other's skills, and I think you kind of lose some of that dynamic and that explosiveness from your defensive line without Kalijah Cansey. But I do think that in terms of talent in the door, whether it's on the team, and I really liked what I saw from C.J. Brewer in the preseason and last season. I thought he did a really good job, so I like him as a depth piece going up. I think in terms of positions with depth, I think the interior defensive line has a little bit more, and I think that Elijah Roberts will hopefully be able to kind of bring some of that explosion in the pass rush. I mean, again, 78.6 PFF grade, highest graded defensive player for the Bucs. I think the highest graded player overall. So he was just defensive player overall, but he was really good. He got his first sack. He got some pressures, and I think he can hopefully bring that explosiveness, and hopefully the Bucs run defense doesn't suffer too much with Elijah Roberts in the game. So that's a good sign. But I do think the Bucs missed some of that down-to-down explosiveness with Kalijah Cansey being out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side, which is, in my opinion, a little bit more concerning, is the offensive line. Tristan Wirfs, we know, is still recovering from his knee injury, getting closer and closer. He wasn't ruled out of the game last week until Sunday. I don't foresee him playing this Sunday, but I think it could be this Sunday or next Sunday.
Yeah, it would be a surprise to
Yeah.
me if he played. He did practice today, though. He was limited, but he did practice.
Yeah,
so.
him and Godwin have been back at practice. So that's and then Luke Gedeke was battling a foot injury all last week. He got it good to go, and he started the game, but then he aggravated that foot injury in the first quarter. They say it's not a major injury for Luke Gedeke, but he will likely miss some time. The quote said probably a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, that one's concerning because I guess today he's on a scooter and a boot, not putting weight on it. And
Yeah, but sometimes they put the people in the boots and it enhances. Like, there's been people in a boot that have come back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's fair, but not putting weight on it. That's the concerning part.
That's fair. That is definitely fair. I'm hoping to have him back because he's a valuable piece. And then also Cody Mauk got himself injured. He's questionable for Sunday's game. So a lot of just banged up offensive linemen for the Bucs. Is this a situation where the Bucs should look elsewhere, maybe in the trade market or in the free agent market, to try to add some depth and some replacement for the offensive line?
Well, I mean, I think if Wirfs can come back, you should be okay because, I mean, clearly it looks like Barton can play left tackle, and
He struggled, though. He struggled.
But again, you're going against double-digit sack Daniil Hunter. So I mean, give him some time again.
Yeah, that's fair.
So hopefully, with Wirfs comes back, that can settle down a little bit. I think the biggest thing, is probably Cody Mauk being hurt. I don't know how bad it is. Obviously, didn't practice today, but I mean that's a huge part of your run game, and I mean I think he's probably the best run blocker they have. So that one.
Oh, I think that's got to be Ben Bredesen, man. He's been mauling people up front.
Mauk was a dog last week. Dude.
That's fair. I don't know. Ben
Bredesen. Give
Bredesen.
Mauk the edge there.
That's fair.
I might be alone on this, but I think it might be good to go out and get somebody preemptively, like knowing that you're probably only going to get more banged up as the season goes on, and as well you're going to be beating other people in line as their players start to go down. So, I mean, you kind of are addressing some of the issues early on the offensive line if you know that your team doesn't have the depth that you'd like it to.
Yeah, but I think they do have some depth pieces they can work out with. I mean, they got Chikwuma, you got Elijah Klein.
Yeah, I don't. The interior, I think the depth's fine. I think where you get worried is Charlie Heck seems to stink, man. Like he had a PFF grade in the 30s.
He's got a stupid name too.
Yeah, and I will say that we did see last year. Justin School, his first game, he was terrible. He got mauled by Aiden Hutchinson. And as the season went on, he got his feet under him a little bit more. He played a little bit more. He got better and better. So that could be something we see with Charlie Heck. But I'm kind of with Joel in the sense of whether it's through trade, through free agent. Like obviously, players right now are free agents for a reason. They're not the players they once were. I just pulled it up. Let's go. Offensive tackles, Jedrick Wills, Lale Collins, Isaiah Wynn, like these guys are offensive tackle free agents. There's guys that have been, played in the NFL, but I mean, they're free agents right now for a reason. They're older, they've fallen off, stuff like that. And it is worth noting that, last week, Jamel Dean took an $8 million pay cut for this season to become a free agent. Like you have some cap room to work with if you're willing to go to the trade market. So I think that it's just interesting. It's interesting, and I think it would be. I would like to see the Bucs go to the trade market to see if they can get some offensive tackle depth.
I think Wills has been battling with some injuries. That's why he's a free agent.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I want to see Elijah Klein play.
I mean, I think he would fill right in for Cody Mauk if he doesn't play. And I wouldn't worry, but also immediately like Sunday against the Jets, you might have 3 offensive line starters out in that game. That and against a pretty solid defensive line that the New York Jets have. So that could be an immediate concern for that game.
Yeah, well, Well, maybe.
I mean,
The Jets are so far statistically not saying that, they are statistically the worst rushing defense in the NFL so far, allowing 138 yards a game. And against a good defense, the Bucs put up, 170?
yeah. I just don't want to get Baker killed. Is my thing.
Yeah.
Don't
But
want.
he's already banged up from last week.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling that ankle is hurting a lot more than he would like to admit.
I think he'll be fine. I don't know.
He's a warrior, man.
He is a warrior.
Every warrior breaks a leg here and there, especially if it's sore from the week before.
Do not say the word Achilles right now.
No, he's a warrior.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. Do we want to move forward to this Sunday's game?
Yeah. I mean, I think too. I guess we'll stay on injuries. I mean, I think the biggest news is the New York Jets injuries because they are without their starting quarterback Justin Fields. So that's a big thing because you take away the Jets' ability to scramble and rush out of the pocket with the quarterback. I think that's a huge blow to them. I think their defense, especially their secondary, is banged up big time. Tony Adams, he is questionable. Michael Carter, the second, is questionable. Even Sauce Gardner, he's been dealing with He's been dealing with a groin injury. So you got banged up secondary for the Jets. They're bad at stopping the run. Like I think the Bucs have some injuries on their offensive line, of course, but
138.5 rushing yards per game this season for the
I
Jets.
was off by 0.5. That's pretty good.
I didn't even hear you say 138. My fault. And then again, they've allowed 30+ points in both their games so far, and they allowed Aaron Rodgers at the ripe old age of 75 to get 30+ on him.
On ayahuasca.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but a big injury too is Jermaine Johnson. He might not play either, coming off the edge. So
that will be huge.
Yeah, so
especially
again,
with the tackles out.
You might get some relief there, if some of these guys can't play.
Yeah, and I think for the Bucs in this game, I think what I'm looking for is, we kind of mentioned it, you have not forced a turnover thus far, and I think the Buccaneers defense, has been really solid. They've come up with some big stops. They've done a good job on third down. The Texans were 2 for 9 last week, so that was a really phenomenal job. So a lot of good for the Buccaneers defense, but you got some players, and you put a lot more emphasis on explosive plays and turnovers defensively this offseason. Getting a guy like Jacob Parrish, getting a guy like Hassan Reddick off the edge, getting a guy like Antoine Winfield back and fully healthy. Like, those guys are difference makers, and I think if you're the Bucs, you're going against Tyrod Taylor. The Jets, they're obviously going to want to run the football, but if you're able to get an early lead, the Jets will have to pass, and that's when you're going to kind of be able to tee off. You want to see, you want to see the what?
Cody Mauch's expected to miss the rest of the season.
What? Is that breaking news?
I don't know if I'm getting bamboozled. This is per Ari Mirov. 38 minutes ago, Cody Mauch is expected to miss the rest of the 2025 season with a knee injury that will require surgery.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's per Greg Auman, it says. Wow. Okay. So, we're going to have to make a move in the
Open up the
offensive line.
checkbook.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, that changes a lot of stuff. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
live breaking news.
Wow. So now you will for sure be missing 3 offensive line starters this Sunday. The rushing attack interior where you have some of the guys will be key. If you really want to get up in this game. You want to take a lead. You want to make this a stress-free game. Get Baker out as early as possible. Get Teddy Bridgewater in. You just don't want to sustain injuries in this game. It's the home opener. The Bucs will be wearing their all-white creamsicles, which will be sick. I do have a stat for you guys. So, in all 4 seasons under Todd Bowles, the Buccaneers have started 2-0 in every single season. However, in each of those 4 seasons, they've lost in week 3. They have never reached the 3-0 under Todd Bowles. And, last season, you think about, a similar situation. You get, a couple big wins, Commanders, Lions, and then you have the Broncos, that ended up being a playoff team, but a team that was definitely looked at as a pretty easy win at home for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you get smoked. And that's the game that I'm worried about this game. I'm worried about the Buccaneers overlooking. I really am. I want this to be a stress-free win. I think for the Bucs, I think there's a lot that you can get in the pass game as well, with the injured secondary. I think this is a game that we could see Mike Evans, start to break out, Emeka Ibuka. Maybe let's get the ball to Cade Otton just a little bit more. I mean, the guy has one catch through 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared about this game Sunday.
Yeah, you said it. You took the words right out of my mouth. There is so many similarities from last year to this year, especially. The Bucs have 2 pretty tough wins, decimated with injuries, a lot of guys banged up, and then here you go. You're facing a 0-2 team again, because the Broncos were 0-2 last year as well. Team that was struggling, and you just don't want to overlook them. But yeah, I think I'm still not worried though. Trust me, I'm not worried. They're gonna win. I'm guaranteeing it. They're gonna win. What I'd like to see from the Bucs, I agree with the pass game. I'd like to see just scheming some of these guys open. I think that's one thing, and there is a lot of it. I think stems down to the injuries we have at receiver too, not having Chris Godwin, not having Jalen McMillan. But I just think you have Mike Evans. You got to feed him the ball a little more. You got to feed him the ball a little more. Get him in space. Attack downfield a lot, because you look at the Texans game. I think Baker only threw 2 passes, 20 yards or more, and they were both at like 20 yards. I'd like to see him stretch out the field a little bit more with your big weapons. Ibuka is a little banged up too, though. That's actually, did we say that?
No.
Ibuka's banged up too.
Well, that's a back injury or something, right?
Hip, I want to say
hip or something. I know he's getting wrapped up, but did he practice today?
I don't think. Actually,
while you're looking at that,
almost positive.
They rest.
Didn't.
He didn't. They rest a lot of players, but it could get a little dicey on Sunday. I think again, I'm looking for Cade Otton. I'm gonna say it, man. I'm looking for Cade Otton to get, let's say, 4 catches at least. Like, let's try to scheme up some, like you said, catches for Cade Otton. I think Baker and Mike Evans have looked a little bit not on the same page this season. Like, there's been some throws where Mike, doesn't seem like he's in the right spot, or he doesn't expect it, or Baker has overthrown someone or going the wrong way, zigging and zagging, whatever it is. Like, I think they could definitely be better. I think the Bucs offense for sure, especially in the middle of the game, could be crisper. And you want this to be a game that you can be crisp in, but it's that's concerning with all these injuries.
I'll go broad. I'm just gonna say, let's get the injury streak over with. Like, let's have an injury-free game. I want to come back next week and talk about a nice win where everybody was healthy. Maybe might have even been able to pull a couple of the starters out just to keep people safe. Like, that's what I want to see this week.
I agree. And they look good doing it in the creamsicles. And
Let's finally get a win since we brought them back.
Yeah. Well,
0-8, 0-16 or something in them.
Never won in those all white creamsicles. So that'll be.
And if they don't win this time, they're never gonna wear them ever again. It's probably. Like, all right, point taken.
Yeah, probably. I think that's about it. I'll go. I'm terrified of this game. I'm not going to pick the Jets to win, but I'm going to say it's tight, real tight. 21-20, the Bucs win.
My heart feels like they're going to lose, but I'm gun shy from last week, so I'm going to say they're going to win 24-17.
I'm still confident in the Bucs winning, because this is an Aaron Peanut Glenn coach team. Defense stinks. I don't know why. Everybody thought he was such a good coordinator with Detroit. Detroit's defense was always terrible. Look at how we played against Commanders and then how they played. And they were supposedly a much better team than we were last season. I'm not worried about this. They're going to find a way. Grizzard, once he figures out how they can attack the Jets, it's over with. I am fully trusting in this Bucs team to get a win. When you have Todd Bowles, you have Baker Mayfield, you have Flowberry Grizz, Josh Grizzard. they're gonna get it done. I think it might be a low scoring game. I could see something like give me 23-9. Bucks
Okay.
win 23-9.
Okay. Does anyone have anything they want to say about the Bucks?
Like anything
Or I mean, I'm
else?
sorry. Excuse me. Does anyone have anything they want to say about the Rays?
I have breaking news.
Junior
On
Cameron is
Wednesday.
hurt. Oh.
They won a game.
Yeah, they did win.
They
too.
won a game.
There was some pretty big news today.
6 out of their last 7 they'd lost, but today they won.
Say that again. Also the Buccaneers they signed Dan Feeney, 31-year-old, started 65 of the 120 games he's played, center/guard. So I'm assuming that preempted the Cody Mauch news.
Yeah. Well. Goodness. We'll have to.
What's this junior Cameron news you speak of?
No.
He left again tonight with mid-back tightness.
Season's over. Anyways, so no, guys, come on. We're not talking about the big news here with the Rays.
Hit me with it.
Matt Silverman.
Oh,
and Brian
yes.
Auld will step down when the Rays are sold, which is expected to be in the next 2 weeks, pending final approval.
They keep saying end of September, and then I think the commissioner reiterated it again, just to keep it on the front burner.
Yeah, I saw Rob Manfred. Yeah, he said things are looking up in Tampa Bay. I think this is big to me because, man, it makes it feel real.
Yeah.
It makes it feel real.
I mean, with the Rays, I don't believe anything until the shovel's in the ground. So, like,
Sure.
I don't know.
I thought you were all...
No, I mean, I'm all about it. But you saw earlier this year, the Twins deal fell through. I think the Baltimore deal was shaky until the last second. So, like, I mean, I want it more than anybody. But
Twins have a stadium though.
But
This will.
thought-
Also, I saw.
I'm just saying it's not official till it's official.
I saw a report
What's
that
going on here? No,
no.
I'm the positive one.
No,
on
no.
the
No,
sale.
I'm just saying, like, don't count your eggs yet. Like, I mean, these
But
deals.
you've already counted your eggs.
These deals fall through left and right, though.
Wow, he has.
Yeah,
And
four.
some
the
insider-
the fact that the commissioner keeps confirming it's a little bit worrying, honestly.
Well, I think the big thing is the Rays kind of finally acknowledged it today.
Yeah.
I mean,
By
who
having the
cares?
president step down is a big step.
I mean, that's
That seems
that'll
like-
that'll
yeah,
be
that's like-
that'll be huge. But again, like, let's get there first.
So does that mean, man? So that means we're gonna get like better giveaways with a new president and stuff.
I don't
really
know. I mean, like,
exactly.
tomorrow night they're doing a drone show.
Yeah, they've done a
No,
couple of
for
those.
Friday night. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm pretty high on the giveaways.
Yeah, I want
No,
that.
they've done good.
I want that
There's-
football jersey real bad. I'm gonna buy one of those on
Is it on
Facebook.
eBay yet? Or
That's all I've seen it on Facebook, but they're pricey right now.
Yeah, you gotta give it some time.
There's been, I mean, just about every season, there's been a reason I've wanted to go to a Rays game and get something, like a giveaway. So, I mean, yeah, I think they're okay in that.
You still haven't gone to a game, right?
I've been to one Rays game
Oh,
this
okay.
year, and we'll see about Sunday.
I'm going Friday.
Nice drone show. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The flappy thing was crazy.
Flappy hoodie,
That was crazy.
That was just, whew.
No, they've had some bangers.
They have
I
had some
remember,
bangers. Brett
uh,
Phillips basketball jersey.
I
They
have that
traded
one.
him
Yeah.
away. Or DFA'd him. Man, I'm so excited to get the what do they call those things? The crypto. I was excited to get the Wander Franco EFT.
Oh my gosh.
EFT
NFT.
bobble-
NFT. Yeah.
NFT bobblehead, man.
That's crazy.
The last thing I'll say on the Rays is they added the Orlando guy to the ownership group. That's exciting because it kind of puts fire under the Tampa St. Pete Council's chairs, but at the same time that could 180 real quick. So it's good now, but it's kind of where they're definitely playing with fire on that. So we'll see how that goes.
Put them in Tampa. Put them on the community college in Hillsborough. Bang.
Yeah, well, that's basically where Steinbrenner is, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna be with Steinbrenner though. I'm curious to see what like the map's gonna look like with that.
I'm assuming some of that extra stuff will get kicked out, like that facility.
I mean,
the
they-
Yankees to move, that would be pretty.
That'd be
awesome.
pretty awesome. Yeah, it's like
No, I
we
don't
get
think-
a practice stadium.
I don't think that will happen, but that would be cool. Like that would, yeah.
They keep saying though Ebor is the team captain of the dugout. Like that's
Really?
like they use the wording like that. It's like the captain of the dugout.
I'm still not sold on Ebor.
I'm not gonna like it, but I'll learn to.
Fairgrounds in Oldsmar.
I saw that. I saw that clickbait one time.
Flea market in Oldsmar.
Oh yeah, so you just don't want to. You don't want to get from your house to anywhere anymore, do you? You just want to be in butt to butt
Put him in
traffic.
my backyard.
Yeah, you just want to be in butt to butt traffic at all times.
Well, I just like being. I feel like being close still is good. You know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's episode 98. Or no, 97. No, 98. 98. I'm sorry. 98. Okay. Yeah, so if you're on YouTube, you're not seeing our faces. Hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll be with some adjustments going down in the TB3 stew. But yeah, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Spotify, hit the 5 stars, hit the follow button. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter /X, and have a beautiful and blessed night.